get a student, especially a student who, Janat Shah sir has said about the negativity is there. Mujhe kyun hua hai? Why did I go through this? What would you advise him or her for at this particular juncture?
All of us know that societies always have bounced back, right? And I think much more a country like ours, right, where so many difficult times, you talk about 91, people are given up or so, we always bounce back. So I think as a society, as a whole, and a country as a whole, we are going to bounce back. Now, whether it's going to be 1.5 years or whether it's a 2.5 years, between that exact time, we can all debate. And to me, I think the larger question is both each as an individual level, survive for this period, but be ready for the bounce back, which is bound to come.
Very true. GP, you would like to add a few words on this part?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll just add to what Professor Janat Shah said. See, I'm completely in agreement with him that end of the day, we will bounce back, and especially a country like India thrives on crisis. We need always a crisis to move ahead. I'm actually thinking, how many years ago were all of us so united? Frankly, I can't think of. Maybe 91. That was the time when we ended. I joined IIM Bangalore, but last 10, 15, 20 years, I think we have been completely running in different directions. And if there's one thing to be said about India and Indians in particular, we use crisis very well. And I think the states, the central government, the private sector, all of us are going to use the crisis very well to come out stronger. Yes, there will be casualties. There's no denying it. This is a difficult time for everyone. There's no denying it. And frankly, I'm a little worried about the students who are passing out of MBA and engineering colleges and law schools and other professional courses this year, because this year is going to be tough for them. So at the macro level, things might become very good in the next 18 months, 24 months, or maybe a little earlier also. But at the micro level, it is going to be a tough time for many people in the immediate future. And it is these students, these individuals who will need to really innovate and see how they are going to move forward.
In fact, actually taking a cue from your last sentence, I would like to switch that question to Professor Shah, because a lot of, all MBA students who have got jobs in February and January and last December, and there have been a few casualties where the companies have revoked their offers. What are you, sir, as a director of IIM Udaipur, giving advice to your own students? As far as IIM Udaipur is concerned, is one small thing, but more importantly, almost all graduates, probably about 1 lakh graduates of MBA of various hues and sizes. And if I can ask, look at the engineering students also, IITs, IIMs, and NITs, etc.
No, I think, interestingly, one of my students did write to me exactly on same issue. And my advice to you, which is valid across, is, I think the key is to say that, look, finally, you have to have self-belief that you've gone through a good education, right? And that's going to come in state. And whatever conversation we did saying that 2 years or 1.5 years down the line. Now, so during this period, we also have to look back in terms of the past crisis, which were not probably same magnitude, but you go back to 2008, right? When we had a financial meltdown.
Absolutely.
And several people were in a similar situation. You go back to .com bust, right?
Correct.
So I think this is not the first time we have seen this phenomenon, right? Where suddenly, people felt that why did we graduate this year, right? What did we do wrong? Why did this happen to us? So I think that's a natural question. So I think, the key question is to say, first, you have to have a self-belief. Okay, that I've gone through a good program, and second, I have to prepare myself for the good time which is going to come. And during this period, lot more focus on building my skills, which will make me ready for that bounce back. And at this point in time, you have to remove all the usual constraints you talk about. For example, is this salary which I will work with? Normally you would have said no. But you have to take whatever you get, right? The key part is, you have to move. the worst thing you can do is just sit, because it's going to be a tough year. So you have to accept something which could be with a startup, something which could be with some company which normally you wouldn't have even done, worked with, scales which you would have not expected. I'm sure there are issues of EMIs and all that, but I'm sure the way companies are looking at it, the government will come up with something where maybe for the next 1 or 2 years, there'll be some relief on that front, right? So I think, and to me, key part would be you have to reach out to 1 or 2 alumni who are, been in industry 5 years, and you have to keep several, but you have to keep talking to them, because, there's so much of negativity which is going to come to individual, saying that, why does it happen to me? There are a lot of other people didn't get as badly affected. So I think somewhere this whole idea that I'm going to keep, this whole idea that I'm going to use it to strengthen myself, because when I look at my career ahead, finally we are going to bounce back. And so going back to the larger lesson we talked about, how do I survive, build certain right skills, and in the process be ready when the good time comes.
What Professor Shah said, I'll completely agree with that. End of the day, it is that, and as he also said, that negativity is something that they have to deal with themselves. We can only talk about it. And unfortunately, many times when you, me, Professor Shah, the other faculty members, seniors tell them, they'll say, "Mere saath ho raha, this is happening to me, you don't know." But the fact is, this is not the first time we have seen this. And as the Professor Shah said, 2000, 2008, this is the third time we are seeing it. The magnitude is obviously higher. And as you rightly said, it is important to just continue working, find a way. You have to be flexible. I will pick up a job which is only from in this location, or this kind of work is not going to work in this situation. This is not a market in which you can demand at this point of time. That market is at least 12 months away, maybe say 18 months away, but it is not the time. So you have to be flexible, you have to be open, and you have to keep upgrading yourself. If you start wallowing in self-pity, that meri kismat kharab hai, mere saath kyun hua, I'm sorry, no one can help you. Okay, I'm sorry to be blunt, but that is the way I would like it to be. Please face it. It is a reality. Wallowing in self-pity is going to be only harmful to you.